solving mysteries in the night. Chasing shadows, finding answers, shining bright light. No one's left behind in the darkness all alone. With a heart like a siren, she brings the lost ones home. Silent cries in the dark no longer have to be. For justice wheels keep turning, granny on the beat. Broken voices find their power, call out hope again. When Granny's crime busters run, no victims left in vain. Bravery in her veins, truth she won't disguise. With a fire in her eyes, she's got nothing to deny. Granny fights for justice, never backs down from the call. For the voiceless and the missing, she'll stand.
Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing today? Another great day. It's sunny here. Yesterday we got wind and snow, and it was icky outside. And today it's beautiful out. Warm, and all that snow is melting away. I'm glad about that. So I was doing a little bit of research, not a little bit, a lot. Hello, Pam. Good to see you. On what I was talking about yesterday, trying to find more information on Katie's side of the family. Trying to find that link to Missouri, right? Hello, Ginger. Glad you made it. And so far, I haven't been able to find it. I know I saw it somewhere. I know I did. But yeah, I couldn't find it. I'm still looking. Ginger's looking for me as well. So if it's out there, we will find it, guys. But tonight I really wanted to kind of talk about some of CP's statements. I mean, over the past year, he's made some pretty damning statements. That's all I can say, right? He's made some pretty damning statements. Hello, Factory Girl. Good to see you. This one in particular, I'm sure you guys will remember. Sorry, it is blurry, but that's the way I found it. So, and this was a statement from him, right? And he says, yes, I am confirming that the dogs had scent that led to the construction site. No signs or evidence reveals Sebastian was there. Please keep in mind that dog tracking isn't as credible as you think, which is all a bunch of hogwash, because dog tracking is very credible. But it's this next part that really gets to me. The idea that somebody hurt Sebastian and threw him, and that threw is not the right through for the way he's talking about it. Should be THREW, not going through the tunnel. And threw him into a wet, fresh paved driveway is funny. To bury a body in concrete, it would need to be at least 12 inches thick. Secondly, you have to smooth out the concrete and finish it before it's dried. All of that is done while the concrete is poured and being set. So I understand he's in construction, but he knows specifically how to bury a body in concrete. I mean, crazy to me. And I was trying to find this because I knew I had seen it on X yesterday. And I was kicking myself for not having screenshotted it when I saw it because I knew I'd probably speak about it soon. And so I was Googling burying a body in concrete. Oh my gosh. If law enforcement was ever to look at my computer, the things that I look for, it's just crazy. Hello, Melissa. Good to see you. Cheryl, cooking as always. And Pam is listening while working. Awesome. You guys are so great to be here when you're doing other things. Yes, Chris is a disturbing fellow. This statement, when he said it early on, I think it took everybody aback, right? I mean, it just, how he could even, he thinks it's funny. The idea that someone hurt Sebastian and threw him into a wet, fresh paved driveway is funny. That's funny. Now, if somebody said that about my missing kid, I wouldn't think it was funny. I'd be berating them for it. Right? I mean, I don't know. What's in the water in the South, guys? There's some very strange people down there. I'm glad I didn't live there for very long. I don't know. I just would not want to have that. The next one I want to show is kind of a, well, for lack of better explanation, I'm just going to share it. And it's Lauren from Facebook. And this is so good, guys. If you haven't seen it, show you it here. 12 ways the Proudfoots have mirrored Chris Watts.
Yeah, I mean, nothing. Everybody's gonna have their own opinion on anything like this.
Everybody has an opinion.
No matter what anyone's personal opinion is.
People are people, and they have their opinions.
No, like the police department went door to door asking like cameras and everything, just like nothing.
And the largest manhunt in Tennessee history for a child. There's nothing out there. Speculating causes problems. Assumptions cause issues.
No, like we have a camera there. Neighbor has a camera. Everything's checked out. I don't want to put anything out there, like just suspecting like it's something like somebody pulled in the back and.
I don't want to speculate. I don't want to. It's because it's an active investigation. I don't want to add any more.
Like, there's no cameras in the backyard or anything like that, so it's really hard to even suspect anything right now as far as how she could have left. Because we have the driveway back there from the new townhomes, but it's so hard to tell.
It's hard to say until we can run down this video and figure out what we're seeing.
Thing out there, like just suspecting like it's something like some.
For me to give you a designated area, it would suspect that we think he's in an area. Well, we don't know.
Suspect anything right now as far as how she could.
The best part about it
is he has managed to do this without any evidence left behind whatsoever.
So far, we haven't found him on any camera footage to prove where he's at.
Absolutely zero evidence. There's
Who's guilty and who's
I'm going to stop it right there for just a second. And the other big statement, the best part about it, I know a lot of people have talked about that, right? The best part about it is he's a ninja, right? It's kind of ironic that we saw a doppelganger in a ninja onesie pajamas. I don't know. I hope we hear something on that one.
not guilty.
You know, when they usually eat dinner, it was just like I miss them. Like, I mean, I miss telling, hey, you got to eat that, or you're not going to get your dessert. You know, and just like you're not going to get your snack after. I miss that. Like,
I miss, him trying to eat all the sweets instead of dinner. I miss him stealing my Brussels sprouts while I'm trying to cook them.
I wanted to see this kid running, just barrel rush me and just give me a hug and knock me on the ground. But
I don't even know if I'd be able to speak. I'd probably bulldoze him down with hugs.
Oh my gosh. Did you just catch that, guys? The kids were put in oil barrels. Listen again.
I wanted to see this kid running, just barrel rush me and just give me a hug and knock me on the ground. But
I don't even know if I'd be able to speak. I'd probably bulldoze him down with hugs.
yeah, because like Bella was going to start kindergarten next Monday.
Sebastian wasn't very much like he didn't go outside very much.
He prefers to play inside.
Because it was typical for him to get up and come and rummage for snacks and things like that.
Ready to be here last night and to go into their rooms and know that I wasn't going to turn the rain machines on. And I know that I wasn't going to turn their monitor on. No, I wasn't going to kiss them to bed tonight. It was that's why last night was just horrible. I couldn't do it.
we have a bedroom that's empty that is never normally ever empty.
Around here, and I really hope that all this can lead to something positive.
Activity, and you try to make it a positive thing.
If she's vanished, like I want her back so bad. I want those kids back so bad.
My son, I want to find him so bad.
But there's no malice. We just want our boy home. Badly.
What do you think, guys? What do you think? Right. What the heck is going on? I had another thing going off there. Yeah, no trace of him or sign of him, right. Evidence, yeah. That hand up by the neck thing was a little bit scary. And the barrel rushing, knowing that, yeah, very similar, huh, Melissa? Hello, by the way. The barrel rushing, knowing that those kids were put in oil barrels. And then Katie using the word bulldoze. Where did that come from? Where did that come from? I thought that short clip done by Lauren on Facebook was really good. She pointed out she took the time to clip all those and point those out. That was incredible. That was really, really incredible. It blows my mind, honestly. No, it isn't normal behavior, is it? Normal conversation, normal words to say. I mean, it's sad. It's sad. Right? When I saw that this afternoon, I mean, I kind of saw it before, but I didn't really pay much attention to it. But I really looked at it today and I was like, oh my gosh, it was powerful in my opinion, right? We know Chris Watts red rummed his wife, his unborn baby boy, and his 2 little girls. Yeah. And how he did what he did to them is even worse to talk about, right? So when we take a look at his statements, knowing what he did, and we compare them to Chris and to Katie, that's scary, guys, in my opinion. That is really scary. It just really gets to me. I can't help it. It just really gets to me. But there's a little bit more. I know, Robin, right? There's a little bit more going on as well. We can look at some statements just by Chris, right? And from Mike DeMann.
Into the group with Seth. There is no unity there.
Whoops. You can tell I was watching
Hello,
it.
everybody. My name is Mike DeMann, and I appreciate your watching my channel. Please be aware that all parties are innocent until proven guilty. Please be aware that all of this is my opinion and my opinion only, meaning make up your own mind.
Did I hear him wrong? Did he say all parties are innocent after being proven guilty? Did I hear that wrong? Oh, yeah. Chris Watts will never be a free man. He thinks he's going to be, but he will never be. No. Ever, ever, ever. And now he's blaming his mistress for it. Right? You've got to wonder what was wrong in his brain that he did what he did. So, yes, he had a mistress, and it sounded like he was enamored with her, right? In my opinion, Shanann was a lot prettier than Nicole Kessinger was, but to each his own. I never understood, why didn't he just divorce her? Was he afraid child support payments? I mean, I don't know. And then now he's trying to say that Nicole helped him. Whatever. If she did, they'll figure it out. If she did and they don't figure it out, then she has to live with that for the rest of her life. So, Pam, that's what CW's mommy wants him to say. Yeah, she's a real piece of work. And I saw her statement in court. I don't know. Wasn't anything wrong with them, just like Jason. I believe there's something wrong with people in their minds when they commit red rum. Because a normal person wouldn't do that. A person who is mentally well is not going to take the life of someone. And I'm not saying mental health is the cause of all our problems today, right? But I think if you look back at serial red rummers and those that have taken lives of others, you can kind of see a pattern. I mean, it's just like Brian Koberger right now, right? He's trying to say he's autistic, has OCD. I forget what else. Do I believe he has those things? Yeah. But does that mean he shouldn't get the death penalty, in my opinion? No. Do I think he should use an insanity defense? No. Why do I say that? Because even though he had issues, he was still a very intelligent person, like Ted Bundy. That man was getting good grades. He was going for his doctorate. Many people don't even get that far in life. Right? And he was trying, in my opinion, to get away with the perfect crime. That's what I think. And I think he thought he did it. Let me see that he got away with it. I'm just going to share a pic here. Here it is. And this was taken just hours after taking the lives of those 4 college students. Look at me. I'm clean. I've got bushy eyebrows. I'm a little bit pale and kind of flush because I just went through the biggest thing in my life. But thumbs up, I created the perfect crime. That's what I'm seeing in this picture. No shower curtain. Right? So I think, he should get the death penalty, in my opinion. Yeah, I think he was. Guys, does that picture of Brian Koberger freak you out? Curious. The red rooms happened about 4 o'clock, and this was at 10:31 in the morning. Allegedly. Yes, allegedly. Well, it freaks me out unequivocally. I mean, that's not alleged. That does freak me out. Yeah, he's very proud of himself. There's so much going on with his case right now. They found receipts from Amazon on his account where he purchased a K-bar knife, the sheath, and a sharpener. Go figure, a sharpener. Yeah. Yeah. He's done for, in my opinion, but that's okay. We'll get to that trial when we get to it. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate that. Yes, he is. Everybody that I'm talking about today is considered innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, right? Everything that I say on here is my opinion. Don't take it as fact. I encourage you all to do your own research. So let's continue on with Mike DeMann.
The purpose of me making my videos is to teach statement analysis and enable you to independently access information via statements that they are giving us. It doesn't matter if it's the Proudfoots, it doesn't matter if it's Seth, it doesn't matter if it's John Ramsey or Jerry McCain. Everybody is to be treated the same way, meaning we assume that they are innocent when we approach new statements from people. We assume they are telling us the truth. We assume they are telling us what we need to know. And we also allow them to talk us out of it, which is something they always do.
Okay. I don't know about you guys, but whenever you hear Chris say something, before you hear him speak, are you going to assume that he's going to tell you the truth, that he's speaking truthfully at this juncture? In the beginning, I saw him as I wanted to, in my eyes before he opened his mouth. I wanted to see him as a hurting stepfather, right? But the more that he opened his mouth, the worse it got. And I have to honestly say that today I cannot look at his statements without seeing him as guilty. I'm just being honest. That's my opinion, not anybody else's. That's just mine. And judging by the amount of videos that Mike DeMann has been doing on this case, I'm not so sure that he believes he's innocent until he hears his statements either. But that's what he's saying, so we have to take him at his word. Yeah. And, it's hard. It's hard to know. We've said it a million times in our chat, haven't we? We have said over and over again that they're their own worst enemies. They did themselves in. I don't think anyone in their right mind coming into a case being new is going to look at any of the parents badly. They're going to give them all a chance, right? They're going to want to believe. I wanted to believe that Sebastian ran off. I did. It broke my heart to think that because he's autistic and I was worried for his safety, but I wanted to believe that in the beginning. But we've learned more now, haven't we? The sling blade stuff did it for me. In the beginning, I recognized him exactly as he's shown himself to be. Right. And I mean, the minute he opens his mouth, right? You can see him for who he is. But I'm just saying because they didn't give interviews in the beginning, remember? It was a week before him and Katie opened their mouths. So before they said anything, I was willing to believe that these 3 parents had to be, just devastated. Well, now we know better. Those oil riggers stick together. Chris could have threatened their jobs. Yeah. Yeah. We know better, don't we? Hello, K9. Oh, no worries. Your dog kept you up last night. I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Lacey slept with Brenda Joe last night, so it's funny how dogs know when you're not feeling well. She hasn't been feeling well for a while, guys. So keep her in your prayers. But yeah, it's funny how dogs know that. Lacey was glued to her side. She'd come up every now and again to eat and to give me kisses and go back downstairs. But let's get to Chris's statements.
The closer, the deeper you get into statement analysis, the more you will be baffled how easily people give themselves away. Now, the problem is, of course, that in a court of law, statement analysis on its own is not going to do anything. But in the FBI and some other very skilled agencies, statement analysis is used properly and leads investigators into the right direction so they can do their job. Because the hardest part is for law enforcement to enter a brand new situation and not always know where to begin. Of course, there are certain rules, and they look first at the family members, and that is due to statistics. So the father, the mother, stepfather, the husband, the wife, those are the likeliest unknowns, usually, unless there is already information you're getting about a stalker or somebody close to them showing obsessive behavior. Anything like that can be a strong lead, and you have to follow the leads, and you cannot expect quick results. You cannot say, okay, I think I got it. Let me see. No. You have to allow the language to come to you, and that is what I have been doing. And in the last video, I talked about the embedded confessions. The last one was from Chris Proudfoot. And I also used Jerry McCain and John Ramsey. And John Ramsey, after that statement that I shared with you yesterday, they talked about the autopsy and something about strangulation and the hit in the head taking place almost at the same time. It was full of absurdities. That was the damage control thing, where at first he told you what happened. He told you, according to police agencies, and then he tells you in his own words what really took place. And I believe him. So here are a couple of statements Kim Morgan on X has sent to me.
Hello, Life's a Dance.
And I am very happy to have those available to me. And the first one, Chris Proudfoot says, Sebastian walked out of the house. Okay, this one is, of course, a lie. And this is something that is scripted and ingrained in their brains, just like bring them home. By the way, have you listened to Lauren from Facebook? Have you listened to her recent video? Check it out on X. And bring him home has been a phrase used by Peterson, I think. It was Peterson, Chris Watts, others. This is very common, not to focus so much on the action of actually first finding your child. That is the most important thing. Not bring them home. There is sentimental value attached to that. It is something that also enables them to go back into nostalgia, which is a very dangerous area when you are supposed to only think about the future, which is to find your son, to find your daughter, to find your family. So he repeats, he starts out, Sebastian walked out of the house. Okay, before we go any further, that's what he's basically telling you. You know, right? Okay, we have established that this is the basis. If you don't accept this, there's going to be a big problem. That's really what he's telling you. Okay, first off, before I tell you my story and yet another deceptive narrative, we need to establish that unless you accept this as fact, we're not going to continue. And he had a lot of pre-interviews with a lot of people that interviewed him, where he made sure they're going to be on his page. He always talks about the same page, but what it is his page. And that is the page of the script that Katie had written for him. And as I've said, Chris is the mouth and Katie is the brains behind all of this. You can see Chris watching Katie or looking at the camera, very attentive when she talks about Sebastian supposedly taking out the trash that night. But I will get more into this later, because she didn't actually say that he took the trash out that specific night. And she felt a need to explain why, because that's his chore. She's trying to convince us of something. So just because she said it, unless we first analyze a statement, we cannot take anything as it appears to us at face value. We have to realize, are they really saying what most perceive, or are they not? Are they saying something completely different? And now here comes something very critical, because this is about Sebastian walking off the property and not being able to be found. And remember what Katie said in another interview. Katie actually told us before they were able to search, or before they started searching, Sebastian was already outside of the search radius. which coincides with Melissa Proudfoot's statement. Don't look within the search radius. Don't even look inside of within 10 miles. Go past the 10 miles. That is very critical, because how would she know Sebastian wasn't within the search radius? Because he could be in somebody's house. And it's possible, it would be possible that, the police searched, but you cannot search everywhere. So immediately they wanted you to stop looking inside, meaning they were suggesting this area has been searched. Now move on and move out. He is out there. That is the continual narrative that they are presenting.
So what do you guys think? Do you think that Sebastian is far away? Like, could he be in Missouri? Could he be that one person that we saw last night? Or do you believe that he is within the 10-mile radius somewhere? Pinky and the brain. Good point, K9. I think they were all hoping we would move on. Yeah. I find the statement that Chris made, anything is possible. It's true. It's true. But I find this statement that Chris made, I mean, think about Sebastian walked out of the house, he stepped off the porch, and poof, he vanished into thin air. Poof. I mean, that he might as well have put that poof in there, right? Because that's what he said. And he vanished into thin air. That is what I think, because that is what I know. How could he know that? He's really wanting us to go out on a limb to believe that Sebastian walked off that porch and poof, he just vanished into thin air. Poof. Because Chris knows that, see, so we should follow his lead and know that too. I would like to know if camera footage was taken from the Bowerstocks neighborhood. I don't know. Doubtful, I would think. I would think that would be doubtful. But that is why Dog and Nick were getting satellite pictures on the outside of the house around that time. And then Katie said, he's already, so I ran. He's already what, Katie? Right? What is he already, Katie? What? Right? Their statements, guys. I mean, I really wished I would have gotten into this many, many years ago. I think I would have loved being a statement analyst. But their statements are laying it out there for us, right? Their statements are showing their lies. Yeah. It seems odd nobody has said anything about the sighting except creators. You'd think they would debunk it by now if it's not him. Maybe they haven't found him yet. Remember, he was walking across the street. And the other thing is that um was he coming from the house behind him? I don't know. I looked at that house. I couldn't see anything out of the ordinary there. But I mean, there was a house that was directly behind from where that young man was coming from. I don't know, right? If they haven't found him, that young man, yet, they're investigating then. They're asking the neighbors, they're asking the news crew, they're talking to people trying to figure out who this person is, right? That doesn't happen overnight sometimes, right? Especially if that kid wasn't from that neighborhood. But my question is, what was he doing walking around in Lego Ninja onesies? Right? I don't know. I've had a few comments underneath my video from last night. There's a few people who think he's too young to be Sebastian. But we don't know, right? We don't know. Yeah, he may not live in that neighborhood. He could have been there because of all the commotion. One thing I did learn last night after I got off our live, I went and looked, and there's several schools in the area for autistic children. One really good one. And what I started doing was, because seeing that video on the news was like, whoa, it gave me an eye-opening experience. So I started looking at videos in those schools because they show these children in their videos promoting the school. So I started looking at the videos to see if I could see Sebastian in any of those videos. I mean, you never know, guys. Is anybody else thinking of stuff like that, right? I mean, I don't know. But usually special education schools do have videos promoting, and they'll show the kids, and they'll have success stories, and yeah. So I started looking at that. All it takes is one video, right? There are people who don't believe that that's Sebastian at all. That's fine. But all I have to say about it is that it's always worth a look. Let law enforcement debunk it. That's not up to us. We see it, we report it, let law enforcement investigate, right? I can't believe they spend all this money to keep people from finding him and pay for a school too. Yeah, well, Bower Sox have money. It's spring break across the country. If I was going to transport a child in different locations, no one would notice a child being trafficked. And that's the other thing. Even if that was Sebastian, they could have moved him, realizing that he was on the news. I'm just saying, guys, we don't even know if they have had sightings of Sebastian, and then go to investigate, and then they think that the child's been moved. We don't know if that's a possibility, because it very well could be. Yes, it never hurts to check it out at all. Do we know for sure it was? No. Looks an awful lot like him. very, very strange that he's wearing green Legos. He loves ninja, loves onesie. I'm just very, very strange. Hello, Hoot3. Good to see you. Welcome in. And yes, very true. We are just the watchful eyes. Ellie does the investigation. That's right. Here at Granny's Crime Busters, we're not trying to convince anybody of anything, but we really want to look at everything with a keen eye to see whether it's statement analysis like we're doing today, or looking at videos like yesterday, to see what we can see. Is there something that needs to be turned in? I turned in that man at Texas Roadhouse the way he was standing because I thought it looked like Chris. I could be wrong. It might not have been Chris, but I turned it in because we never know, right? Now, I'm not going to jump on every little thing, okay? You guys know that. When the blob pictures were coming out, you didn't see Granny jumping on those. Because in my opinion, when you can't make out a human figure, it's kind of rough to say, oh, this is so-and-so, and this is so-and-so, and they're carrying Sebastian, and, especially when you're working with copies of a copies, it just gets to be too much. But everything does need to be looked at clearly, concisely, but with a critical eye, critical thinking, guys, not just something that's thrown out there in the wind, right? Not going to jump on every little thing. And Dog got right back to Lady Freedom when she sent the picture. That's right. Anytime that I have sent anything, I've gotten word right back. The picture of Chris, what I thought might be Chris, right back to me. Great eye, great catch, or something like that. Right away. Hello, Anne. Good to see you. Pam says, I hate to see what my heart is thinking. Something happened with him and KP that horrible night. I think that's always in the back of our heads, right? For all of us. But there's no evidence that anything happened, okay? There's no evidence that Sebastian is not alive. So I'm going to stick with he's alive and he's out there somewhere. And guys, if that was him last night, it looked like he was being well taken care of. And that is my hope and prayer. If he's out there, that he's being well taken care of, that somebody is buying him pajamas that he loves. Right? I mean, think about that. Right. If the evidence we find won't hold up in court, then it really isn't evidence. That's right. Sometimes it takes my dad always used to put puzzles together, right? And he'd get to the end and there'd be a piece missing. That's so frustrating, right? You'd be looking around the floor and we'd find it. Typically Lacey had chewed it up and spit it somewhere, right? But I just say that to say that sometimes all of our little pieces build the bigger picture. We never know. We don't know, guys. Look at how long ago the TRH video came out. And we just discovered that it's very possible that the 3 a.m. car was driving around TRH all this time. We wouldn't have known that, right? Little puzzle pieces. That's all it takes. Across the state line or across the border? Because state line, easily, yeah. Easily across state lines. And yes, Robin, their lies are adding up. I mean, why do you think they've gone silent? They have pretty much gone silent, right? And Scranton, hello, Scranton. That's true. If that's him, he's walking around the neighborhood, not stuck in a house, free. If that's him, he's not in distress, looking for somebody to help him. Absolutely. Absolutely. If that's him, he didn't look upset or worried, or he seemed comfortable in his own skin, right? Yes, they are. Pam says, hope and faith gets me through life's ups and downs. That's right. That's right. The next one, my parents were not with Katie on Sunday because, damn good and well where my parents were at their house on Sunday night. They weren't near Katie. They weren't near Sebastian. And if you got a problem, all you got to do is pick up the phone and call us. Be an adult, be a responsible adult, and just call. Okay. So here's my question. Why Sunday night? Why Sunday night? I don't know who was asking where his parents were, but it's one of his triggers, isn't it? We all know that, right? It's one of his triggers. Talk about his parents, right? Don't put them anywhere in the vicinity. And honestly, I haven't talked too much about them. The reasoning is because they like to be Sue happy, SUE happy, Sue happy. So I pretty much stayed away from that. And I figure if she was at Worsham's, the police would know that and they'll deal with it all. If they're guilty of anything, it'll come out eventually, right? I think the main thing is that we want to know not even who did this anymore. We want to know where Sebastian is. That's why we're analyzing statements to see, did they give us a clue? Oh, Seth was asking if his parents took Sebastian to a boot camp. Gotcha. Go ahead and say it, Mother Truck. Thank you. Thank you for the permission, K9. Mother Truck. Yes, those two words really trigger him. But that makes sense. Okay, so it was because his parents did leave right away, right? Well, how would Seth know where they were? You know where my parents were, not with Katie on Sunday, because damn good and well where my parents were at their house on Sunday night. How would he know that? How would Seth know that? He has nothing to do with Chris's parents, right? So this is just another example of Chris getting his anger out of control, basically. Yes, and Seth was trying to clear up all the rumors. Oh, I'm sorry, Anne. Yeah, there's a few people in our chat who have that. Mick Rapping Recovery, welcome in. We're happy to have you. Yeah, I mean, you said it good, Hoot 3. You said it good. I agree with you 100%. There's not something's not right there. Yeah, how does Chris know Sebastian left Sunday night and not early Monday morning, right? Yeah. And yes, he's a bully. And yes, and I tend to agree with you. My opinion as well. But I guess we'll find out in the end, won't we? I'm hoping it's sooner rather than later. Right? I'm just it's been a year and it's time for that young man to be home. But I have to tell you, after that video last night, I have more hope because even if it's not him, visually now I have something that I'm hoping and praying for, right? A young man who is being given the things that he likes, right? Who is healthy and happy and comfortable in his own skin, free to walk around, right? I like that vision. And that is what my hope and my prayers are visualizing now, right? Seeing that. So even if it's not him, I have that visual now in my head, you know. Aw, well, happy birthday. We'll celebrate your birthday with you in case you're not with us on Saturday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Anne. A little early, but that's okay. You have a rice cooker, Ginger. Gotcha. Yeah, I hope we find out too. Sometimes it feels like we will never know. I know. The Lord is in charge, right? The Lord is in charge. And then his last statement. Now, if you are trying to insinuate that someone was in my house or someone took him outside my house, just say that. What do you think he meant by that? What do you think he meant by that? In my opinion, it's a veiled threat. That's what I think. Right? I'm going to assume he's still talking to Seth here. And so I guess I'd respond back, well, what if I do think that? What are you going to do about it? Right? maybe you had somebody take him. What are you going to do about that? Right? I mean, why is he making that statement? It makes no sense to me. But is he trying to tell us something? Statement analysis, guys. Is he trying to say that someone was in his house and took him outside of his house? Is that what he's trying to say there? Because, see, they tell us without realizing they tell us. Yes, he has outright threatened Seth. And Seth called him on it. You know, he threatened Seth with telling about the essay problems. What did Seth do? He brought it out in the public. And it only made him and Katie look bad. So he shouldn't have threatened Seth with that, right? It only made him and Katie look bad. So Chris's mouth gets him into more trouble than anything. He has not helped. And I think that's why at the 1 year mark in the interviews, Katie made him be quiet. I really do. All right. I think that, let me see.
That is their so-called solution. Everywhere. Look everywhere. But don't look at us or the Bauersachs family. All of this is my opinion and my opinion only, and here's how I have formed it. Step off the porch. So he walked out of the house. He is using a previous narrative to hammer it into everybody's brain. So how did he walk out of the property? He left the property. He must have left the property. If you were innocent and you were not there, you would probably say, I think Sebastian just ran out of the house and left the property, but he's introducing the porch. And there's something very sensitive about that. In order for Sebastian to vanish, he had to leave the front porch unless aliens beamed him up when he stood there, or unless he needs to introduce the porch in a false manner as something he stepped off of, because he couldn't have stepped off it. And this may, and I want to emphasize on may, indicate the place where Sebastian passed away, because he had hit his head on the floor, fell out of bed. His body was probably limp from the medication. There was no reflex, and he was probably severely injured.
Okay, hold on here. I don't know where he's getting this information, because we do not know that. That he So guys, anything about him being medicated that night, we don't know for a fact. That's rumor, okay? Number 1. Number 2, I remember Mike Demand saying in one of his videos that he thought Sebastian was over medicated and fell out of bed. Now he's saying he was probably severely injured. He is putting together this scenario that is his opinion, guys. It's not fact. Okay, so I want to make that clear because he was talking about it as if it was truth, you know. Yeah, he's inserting an idea. Yeah. Yes, I agree, K9. I think he left by the back door. He's trying to do statement analysis. This could off the porch. Well, there's a porch in the back as well, right? There's a porch in the back as well. This doesn't say front porch. Why the porch when she stated the window was open? Well, it doesn't matter because either way, he would have been seen on camera. He wasn't seen on camera from the front of the house. The whole front of the house would have been seen on camera, guys. Yeah, I never heard Katie say the window was open either. Somebody else, I believe, came up with that. So I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know.
Why didn't she call an ambulance? Well, they were already sick and tired of Sebastian. Chris had been sick and tired, and Katie showed an enormous switch in her attitude towards the really good day they had, and then the pretty good evening, where there was no more the pronoun we that had been used 6 times in the first part, describing how good their day was. Really good, unusually good. That's what it indicates. There was a together hour. Everything indicates they actually had a very good day that was better than usual. However, it all declined towards the evening. And what I've said also, the TRH video, don't pay attention to anything anybody.
So her words may have indicated that they had a good day, but the TRH video doesn't show Sebastian having a good day. I never saw that incredible smile once in the TRH video. Seth saw the video at the bowling alley and said it didn't look like Sebastian was very happy there either. So remember, he's going by statement analysis. Katie was saying, we had a good day. We had a better than normal day, whatever. That's her statement. That's not necessarily what happened.
Tries to sell you on that one. The only thing that you can say for sure is that there is indication in body language. Katie looks like she's on the edge, and Sebastian seems to pick up on that and seems to be nervous, looking at her again and again for reassurance. And she seems to talk to somebody online, could be Chris. They may be looking forward to having a conversation alone at night. Her mind is already on Chris because there are 2 Katies. There's a Katie with her son and Chris nowhere near there. And they seem to have a pretty good day. But the moment Chris comes into the picture, Katie is completely cold to Sebastian. And her only worry and concern is Chris Proudfoot. So my guess would be that during that video, she was talking to Chris. And maybe Chris said he better be asleep so we can talk. And she saw how much he was eating. And she told us before he gets overstimulated. And Chris said he even gets rambunctious, just like the Orrin and Orson West stepfather said about his children when they were supposedly missing. In this language, when you talk badly about a missing child, you're telling us why, from your view, they got missing. You don't acknowledge your own wrongdoings, but it is victim blaming and saying, well, they were rambunctious. What could I have done? that enables them to present themselves in a better light. They are the heroes who had to deal with these horrible children. That's what they're trying to sell you.
Okay, so what he said about it all being about Chris, and that Chris felt that when they talk, Sebastian better be sleeping. There are guys, there's no evidence to back up what he's saying, right? So I just want to bring that out in the open. No evidence there. Okay, let me see what we've got here. Could they have pulled him out through the crawl space? That's a possibility. It's something that I thought of. I did just get some information from someone. I don't know if it's true or not, but it showed a picture of a crawl getting to that space from inside the house. It's usually, what do I want to say? It's usually hidden under carpet or something. And that there's actually a shelter there. I don't know if that's true. I was sent information about that. And if that's the case, I could see where that would happen. Put him down and then bring him out through that door on the side of the house where there's no cameras until they get out into the common area. What I heard about the window was it was a dining room window in the front. But I don't know. If it was a drug overdose, a call to 911 would have been done. I don't think so. And the reason that I say that is because of the 5 CPS reports. Here's the thing. If something happened to him in that house that night, gosh, guys, I hate even going there. But I'm just going to say this. If something happened, they ran scared because of all of the reports. I think they thought that they would be charged with abuse or his death or whatever the facts may be. I don't think that 911 would have been called in that case. I really don't. It's my opinion. I could be wrong. Ginger says she doesn't believe the thud statement because that came much later. She invented noises coming from his room to prove he was home in the house before midnight. Yeah, that could be possible. The thud could also be possible. I could see it both ways. I wish someone would have asked KP, did she and CP talk on speakerphone? The fact that she fell asleep, I kind of have a feeling she did. Either that or she had earbuds in or something. Yes, Chris Watts is. And Robin says they're all involved except Seth. I agree. I don't believe Seth is involved. K9 says that she agrees with the interview room and Peter Hyatt that it's way around 10 o'clock when something happened. Could be. Yeah, I think the neighbor went with her to help Katie check the crawl space, right? Doesn't mean she didn't carry him out of there before at 3 o'clock in the morning to take him to the car. Exactly. House lights were on at 3 a.m., which shows the light outside was on. Yes. You've never heard of one. Okay, let me show you. Actually show you a picture of one. Okay. Upload it to StreamYard. I lived in a house in Tennessee that had one. But this isn't the house in Tennessee. This is just a picture of an opening in a kitchen to get into the crawl space. So you can pull it up and there'll either be a ladder or steps going down to it. If it's kind of like a deeper crawl space, if it's only a few feet, there won't be anything. You just, it's only like a couple feet down, Sometimes they're underneath the carpet in a closet. This particular one, I was surprised, is in a kitchen, right? In the flooring. So they do exist. I'm not saying it exists at that house, but they do exist. And if you think about it, it makes sense, especially if there's snow and ice buildup outside and you can't get in that door outside. You have an inside access to the crawl space. No worries, Cecilia. Good to see you. Yeah, none of those CPS reports were sent to LE for investigation. Yeah. Yeah, when you actually think of the flashlight video, and if they carried Sebastian out, it involves several people, right? So, yeah, a few people are involved for sure. Not to say that it couldn't have been done just by Katie and Chris. Maybe Chris brought the car. I mean, I don't know, but I'm just saying. Yeah, absolutely, McWrapping. That she kind of made a show that she looked there, right? Probably, right, Ginger? It's a good point. That's a really good point. There was nothing of Sebastian picked up, which makes you wonder, right? But then he was never outside. So if he only left inside the garage in a car, because the neighbors even said they never saw him outside. Yeah, it really does add another dimension, doesn't it? I mean, there's so many different things, but Ginger does bring up a point. I wonder if the cadaver dogs were sent into the crawl space. Right? I mean, because if they pulled him out, but they were holding him up as they were pulling him out, and the door is shut, is there going to be a scent? I don't know. I'd have to ask the dog handlers that question, right? This the breaks. That's what I've always thought. Don Wells has a homemade bunker under his basement. Yeah. This is the breaks. Welcome in. Yeah. 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 He didn't take out the trash because there was no scent. So that's the biggest conundrum of all, right? There was no scent. Which, if he was carried out the back door, there wouldn't be a scent. Right? Because he's carried. That bike was when they lived at the Remington Ave home in Gallatin, Life's a Dance. That's when it was a happy family. And once they moved to Stafford Court, things changed, and I don't know why. So it would not surprise me that, Chris was known for taking away Sebastian's things. It wouldn't surprise me if Chris didn't throw that bike in the garbage on Sebastian back at the Remington house. Other people have said that, this the breaks, but what about the flashlight video then? You know, are you really going to tell me that was all a ruse? Yeah, it was Katie taking out the trash. I believe that. The cadaver dogs would pick up the scent of death through the floor. That makes sense. And I think that's why when we went here before, we talked it out and said that couldn't be a possibility. Exterminators have a spray. Lemon gets rid of all odor. Interesting. Maybe it went with the snake. Yeah, probably. Probably. I agree. K9. I don't think he was unalived at the house. He was unconscious when they carried him out. Yeah, that's what I think too. My opinion as well. I think they gave him his sleeping aid or whatever, and he was unconscious when they carried him out. And I like to think of him like that video last night, walking around free in clothing that he would have loved, looking fine, looking content, not looking upset, not looking nervous, just comfortable. Right. If Ellie took the time to search all the walls with infrared lights looking for a human hearing signal, then they obviously thought Sebastian didn't walk out the door. I agree. I definitely agree. I think he was medicated enough to be unconscious to be able to carry him out. Heat, not here. Yeah, for a human heat signal. That makes sense. Yes, me too. And I'm waiting, and I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that it's going to take a little bit. Here's my fear, guys. If he is alive out there somewhere, and if that was him that walked in front of the camera, what if whoever has him saw that on the news, the local news where they are in Bridgeton, Missouri, and moved him immediately? That's my worry, right? That's my worry. But life's a dance, you're right. No news is good news. But at least now we have a visual, we have a thought, we have hope, more hope than we had before, right? That he could possibly be out there. Because, guys, like I said, looking at that video last night and thinking, oh my gosh, I don't watch a whole lot of news, but I've never thought about the news that I do watch looking in the background for Sebastian. Because I do, when I'm researching articles and things to talk about, especially for my morning shows, I do watch news channels. And I never ever thought about looking in the background for Sebastian. You can be sure I'm looking now. That's true. He might have outgrown the bike, and it seems like she does throw out stuff that's not usable. I don't know if that's her, if it's Chris. I just saw the last shoes, clothes, bikes kid. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Scranton, you're hilarious. Yes. But you're right. You're right. What is this video that I'm watching? It's Mike DeMann. He is a statement analyst. I don't necessarily agree with everything that he says. He truly believes that Sebastian is not alive. And I will have that link in the description for you guys a little bit after we're done with our live. But I mean, he brings up some really good points as far as analyzing statements, what people said. He's analyzed Seth completely, and Seth, just like what the deception detective has said, is squeaky clean, right? Yes, that's what I'm afraid of too, Cecilia, that they moved him if they saw it. MC. Who is MC? Oh, I see what you're saying. Let me see. You guys want me to show that? Let me see here. Okay. See that okay? All right. And I turned off the music so you wouldn't hear it. I'll try to get to the spot that she shows the video. Okay, this is it, guys. Right there. So that is it. So that was the video that gave us hope. And we looked it up last night. Those pajamas are Legos brand Ninja onesie pajamas. And they're green, which is Sebastian's favorite color. He has stopped reporting on Sebastian's case. I think because he's getting so much flack on X from it, he's just done with it as far as all the garbage he gets from it. So he stopped reporting on Sebastian's case. I don't know. It was in Bridgeton, Missouri, where they've had bad tornadoes, and they were actually this wasn't a video of this kid, okay? The kid walked in front of the camera. The video was about the damage in the area of Bridgeton, Missouri. And they were showing a tree that fell over on an elderly lady's home right there. And this kid that looks like Sebastian walked right in front of the camera, right past it, after somebody else walked first, and then he did. Okay. You said there's no coincidence in true crime. Yes. Yeah, well, it was a reporter, so right? I mean, Right, exactly. Because the thing that I think about, and yes, we know that Sebastian is high functioning, he's intelligent, he's not stupid by any means, even though his mother and stepfather tried to make him out that way, at least in the beginning. But Seth has said that he's not mentally where he should be for the age that he is. So, in my opinion, you know, he loved Legos, he loved ninjas. I could see him liking this, right? Yeah. I mean, we all think he looks a lot like him, doesn't it? Yes. It was a news station and they have taken the video down. Because, guys, when I saw this yesterday, I I like to show things like that from news stations, okay, rather than um, another creator's account. Um, so I went to the news station. I found the exact wording when it wasn't this video, but it was the one from yesterday that she had that earlier yesterday, and she had it showed the name of the newscast, right? And the title for that part of it. And I found the exact wording and I clicked on it and I showed everybody last night 404 error, no page found. So they took the video down, which gives me a little bit of hope, guys, because, if law enforcement's involved, they may seize that, right? I'm just saying. Oh, he's going to be home before he's 18. I don't even want to go there, Ginger. You're welcome, BJ. Welcome to the crew. I know this case is filled with wonder, isn't it? Well, I mean, it was validated because she showed it, right? You could tell that it came from a newscast. They showed the news reporters everything, and they were out there on the ground looking at tornado damage, which is not unusual, right? So, I mean, that in itself was validated. It's just that now it's gone after she reported it. Yeah, and that would be up to Ellie to validate it. That's what I think. I think they seized it, had it pulled down, because they're fully checking everything, and then the next thing they're going to try to find the guy, right? That's what I think. But so, yes, gave us full hope, right? Gave us complete hope, and either way, like I said, even if it's not Sebastian, I have that visual now of him walking, looking comfortable, free, in clothing that he would love to wear, I think, that means something to him. Just crazy, right, guys? Yeah. There was what looked like a woman walking in front of the boy, and he was following her. Yeah. Yeah. Checking out who it is, and I think that's why. Not only that, guys, if you think about that, this is a minor. Okay? If everybody like us starts running with this video, this minor's face is being shown all over the place. That in itself could be enough reason to bring it down. Or even clip him out of it. So, you know, it's not like I want to keep showing this, but I do want people to be aware there's hope out there. And you guys know that if we find out, I know the clothes, it can't be coincidence, right? It's just the glasses, our square frame glasses, the round chin. He doesn't have like a pointed chin. It's like rounded up. It just crazy. So, yeah, and they don't want to put him in danger, right? And like I said, if they realize we're onto them, they can move him, whoever has him. And we don't want that to happen before they get there. Right? We don't want that to happen before they get there. Yeah, gain some weight. Yeah, the ears look the same to me. The chin looks the same to me. The glasses, the square rim glasses that they said he had. I mean, it's just unreal. But all we can do is hope and pray, right? And believe and have faith that that's Sebastian. That's my hope and my prayer. All right. So, today's grannyism: out of the mountain of despair, a stone of hope. Martin Luther King Jr. said that. And that kind of goes along with what we've just been talking about, right? I think all of us were starting to feel somewhat in despair, right? Because we hadn't heard anything for so long. There's been no viable leads. Law enforcement isn't saying a dumb thing, right? And even, we haven't been hearing much from at night kind of thing. So this was like a stone of hope, right? Last night's video was like a stone of hope. Even to know that, guys, we could see something on a video. We just need to keep our eyes open. Because think about it. If we're looking for a dead person, then we're not looking for a person that's live on any news videos or anything else out and about. We're not looking for a live person if we think he's dead. You're welcome, Cheryl. I don't know. I think like a couple years. I don't know how much Sebastian would change in a year. I don't know. Seth did say he was starting to get a mustache and he didn't like that he had hair. He hadn't taught him how to shave yet. And that's disheartening for Seth because he wants to teach his son those things. So whoever's had Sebastian for a year is teaching them those things, and it's causing Seth to lose out on some firsts with his son. That's wrong in so many levels. so many levels, right? All right. Well, that's all I really had to show you today, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys and your, communication, your thoughts and everything, right? I appreciate that so much. Be sure to hit the like button as you head on out. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you get notified when we do go live. And we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.